Ready Player One is one of my all-time favorite movies. There, I said it. Now, I don't think that it comes close to some of my other favorite movies in a lot of ways. The Lord of the Rings, Interstellar, Harry Potter, and formerly, unfortunately, Star Wars, rest in peace. However, Ready Player One is a movie that captivated me. I saw it many times back in theaters when MoviePass was still working as advertised. I bought it on Blu-ray, and I even bought the sparse merchandise available for it. And believe me, there wasn't much out there. Ready Player One, for those who don't know, is a story of a poor teenager, taken in by his aunt and her abusive boyfriend, living in the stacks. Basically, mobile homes stacked on top of each other in Columbus, Ohio. I want to play a bit of the prologue to set the scene for us.
I was born in 2027, after the corn syrup droughts, after the bandwidth riots, after people stopped trying to fix problems and just tried to outlive them.
This is really key to understanding where we are in the world, a near future where the divides between the haves and the have-nots have expanded exponentially, where people stop trying to fix their problems and instead try to escape from them. But let's keep going.
In 2045, Columbus is the fastest growing city on Earth. It's where Halliday and Morrow started gregarious games.
Wade says that Columbus is the fastest growing city on Earth, with some sort of pride. He idolizes Halliday and gregarious games, yet we see in this scene the broke setup that he has. He lives in a mobile home in a stack. This is what fastest growing looks like. It's not rolling monotonous suburbs or skyscrapers with cramped apartments. It's next to piles of trash on unstable foundations.
These days, reality is a bummer. Everyone's looking for a way to escape. And that's why that's why he was such a hero to us. He showed us that we could go somewhere without going anywhere at all. You don't need a destination when you're running on an omnidirectional treadmill with quadraphonic pressure-sensitive underlay.
Yet rather than spend his money and free time on trying to improve his lot in life, he spends it on omnidirectional track pads, nice gloves, and a broke suit. Where does he have this nice setup? A trailer in a pile of auto trash. We'll come back to this in a bit, but I wanted to point this out in the prologue. This is the kind of world we're talking about here, where people prioritize their entertainment over their well-being.
James Halliday saw the future, and then he built it. He gave us a place to go, a place called the Oasis.
This is a really important statement. We'll get back to it in just a second, but let's keep going for now. I just wanted to draw attention to that and to the music and the tone of Wade's voice as he talks about the Oasis.
This is the Oasis. It's a place where the limits of reality are your own imagination. You can do anything. Go anywhere. Like the Vacation Planet. Surf a 50-foot monster wave in Hawaii. You can ski down the pyramids. You can climb Mount Everest with Batman. Check out this place. It's a casino the size of a planet. You can lose your money there. You can get married. You can get divorced. You can go in there. People come to the Oasis for all the things they can do, but they stay because of all the things they can be. Tall, beautiful, scary, a different sex, a different species, live action, cartoon. It's all your call. Yeah, that's me. Well, that's my avatar. At least until I feel like changing. Except for eating, sleeping, and bathroom breaks, whatever people want to do, they do it in the Oasis.
So let's stop here for now. That statement that Wade made before entering the Oasis, I'm going to edit a few parts of these together just to illustrate the gist of what I'm saying.
After people stopped trying to fix problems and just tried to outlive them. James Halliday saw the future, and then he built it. He gave us a place to go, a place called the Oasis. It's a place where the limits of reality are your own imagination. People come to the Oasis for all the things they can do, but they stay because of all the things they can be. Except for eating, sleeping, and bathroom breaks, whatever people want to do, they do it in the Oasis.
Now we have a big picture. Halliday gave people a place to escape their problems. In the books, they actually attend school in the Oasis as well. There's a reason why it's called the Oasis. In a desert, an oasis gives water to the parched, a brief reprieve from the heat and the sand. In the desolate landscape that is 2045, the oasis is a watering hole where everyone gathers across the globe, a place where everyone can be anything they want and do anything they want. The limit, as Wade says, is only your imagination. Earlier in that sequence, we saw a young girl playing the piano who, in today's age, and certainly in 2045, at that level of poverty, wouldn't have access to one. We see a woman pole dancing, and though we see her in real life, she's obviously doing it in the Oasis. The fact is that the Oasis serves a pleasant facade, a soothing fantasy to distract from the horrors around them. I feel that this is particularly apt when it comes to a popular game we have, Animal Crossing. Now, hear me out. Animal Crossing during this current situation that YouTube won't let me talk about has sold well over 1 million copies. Players are building vast homes, going fishing, collecting, and more, all in this colorful world that offers an escape. They're playing with each other, and they're showing off their vast mansions. But where are these people in real life? People crave escapism, and the Oasis offers total immersive escapism. What wouldn't you give to actually play in the Oasis, especially given the current situation we're in now? Here's a line from the books. Normally, the newsfeeds didn't interrupt everyone's interactive sitcoms and soap operas unless something really major had happened, like the outbreak of some new killer virus or another major city vanishing in a mushroom cloud. Big stuff like that. Now, how much does this describe a devolution of our modern world? How apt does this feel? Especially, and again, given our current situation right now. Here's another few lines. Quote, "As soon as my login sequence completed, a window popped up on my display, informing me that today was an election day. Now that I was 18, I could vote in both the Oasis elections and the elections for US government officials. I didn't bother with the latter, because I didn't see the point. The once great country into which I had been born now resembled its former self in name only. It didn't matter who was in charge. Those people were rearranging deck chairs on the Titanic, and everyone knew it. Besides, now that everyone could vote from home via the Oasis, the only people who could get elected were movie stars, reality TV personalities, or radical televangelists." Again, how prophetic does this sound? I really like the phrase, rearranging deck chairs on the Titanic, so much so I incorporate it into my own phraseology. But why is this so important to understanding Ready Player One? And what does this have to do with misunderstanding Ready Player One? Well, a big criticism I hear from the movie, especially when I watched Red Letter Media's video on it, was that it was basically references the movie. And while I see why that criticism comes up, I don't think people get that this is actually very intentional, and not because of some product placement or fan service, but because of the world these people inhabit. For example, many ask the question, why would they glorify the 80s? This is 2045, don't they have new stuff to go for? Well, the reason is twofold. First, as Wade explains in the books, the 80s is when Halliday was a teenager, and so as the creator of the Oasis, he included a lot of nostalgic things from his past. Wade, as a gunter, studies these things. I also think that another reason that is lightly touched on is that the 1980s represents, to these people, a golden age of Americana, a time when things weren't so bad, and where things were looking on the up and up. To many people today, with the rise of shows like Stranger Things, it still represents a golden age of Americana. As Wade stated in the book, the once great country into which I'd been born now resembled its former self in name only. Is it really surprising that the 1980s is going to be so popular that the retro is going to become a fad? I don't think so. The 1980s and pop culture references are so popular in the Oasis because people use it to escape. They use the Oasis to look at a time when the country they lived in was better than it is now. It is also important to note that the people obsessed with the 80s are, as I said before, gunters, those who are seeking Halliday's Easter egg. Because, well, there's several $100 billion on the line. And Halliday loved the 80s, so in short, I think there's a reason why so many references into Ready Player One are made to the 80s. It isn't for an arbitrary reason, but it's there to show us that in this world, everyone escapes the present, and some dig into the past to find happiness. It's nostalgia on steroids. Everyone can have their criticism of Ready Player One, and many of them are valid. I still love the movie despite its flaws, but this idea about references in Ready Player One is what prompted me to make this video. I really feel that the criticism of Ready Player One in this area comes from a lack of understanding of the kind of world that they're living in. And to be honest, if the Oasis exists today, I'd expect to see all these references to our favorite fictional universes in there. I just really hope this video helps dispel that misconception, and what I really hope is that it gives people a new lens to enjoy and appreciate this movie through. The bottom line is that Ready Player One, despite all its flaws, can teach us a lot about idolizing the past and the consequences of looking too far back in the past instead of focusing on our future. It can teach us that focusing on entertainment while ignoring blindly what's around us can have some very destructive consequences. Whether you agree with that message or not, I think is a valuable one to look at and a valuable one to ponder. And on that note, thanks for watching. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.